Hi everyone, I'm going to continue the series of this awesome Daf Yomi. We are on page 4 of Masechet Baba Kamma, and we're continuing off what we've learned. We basically learned in the previous pages of this tractate that a person is held responsible for damages done by his property. So what was it? But there was one unique exception we learned to this rule, is when the damage is done by a person's eved, his slave, or his shivcha, a non-Jewish male or female slave. Let's just say, according to the Torah or Midoraita, a person can own a non-Jewish slave who is considered property to the extent that he or she can be bought and sold, which we can expound on. The Gemara on this specific page, on this stuff, teaches that if a non-Jewish slave does damage, even though he is a property of a Jewish person, no less than his ox is his property, nevertheless the owner will not be held responsible to pay restitution for damages done by the slave, which might seem maybe baffling to some people. Rav Ashi explains that there is an important reason to make this distinction. In the event that the slave owner upsets him, the slave, who is unhappy with his working conditions, may choose to set a neighbor's field ablaze, which would force the owner to pay large damages. In order to keep such power from the hands of the slave, the halacha frees the owner from responsibility for the slave's actions. Many actually accept Rav Ashi's explanation as a basis for this law, and claim that this is a situation of tikkun olam, which we talked about only a few months ago inside the Gemara. I can't remember, I think it was in Masechet Sotah in the middle of it, or maybe it was actually back in Masechet Gitin, we spoke about it. Yeah, sorry, it was in Masechet Gitin, which we learned about it on Lamed Hey and Lamed Bab. It's, what was the Tikkun Olam? It was created by the sages to protect slave owners. According to this approach, the Torah law would obligate the owner to pay for the damages. There is, however, an alternative approach that suggests that the underlying reason to free the owner from paying is because the slave is an independent thinker who is personally responsible for his actions. So the owner cannot be held responsible for any damage that the slave does. This stands, let's say, in contrast with an animal which does not have the intelligence to be personally responsible for anything that it does. In fact, we learn from the Rambam, should the slave gain his freedom and his money, and he would have money, he will have to pay for damages that he did while he was a slave. That's what it states over there. I got this insight from Rav Adin Steinzelt, Zecher Tzadik Libracha, from his Koren set of Gemaras. I very much recommend everyone to purchase it. Very, very excellent insight. Wishing all a Shavuot Tov, and let's have just brachot everywhere in the world. Take care.